What in the world is going on? We have such a mixed bag of data. I showed you recently that in May, we had one of the lowest pending sales on record. Buyers are not paying the price any longer. And here we are. We're 2 years in since the Fed started raising interest rates. And all of us are looking at each other saying, when is what they are doing going to start helping?
We do have one note on the economy tonight. The Federal Reserve Chief Jerome Powell with an upbeat report today, and analysts say it appeared a possible hint that a rate cut could be coming, telling Congress the U.S. is, quote, no longer an overheated economy, citing a cooling jobs market and easing inflation. And while inflation hasn't hit the 2% target, Powell acknowledged that cutting interest rates too late or too little is also a risk to the economy.
I got 2 seconds. So when are you going to lower interest rates?
I'm today not going to be sending any signals about the timing of any future actions.
Record high mortgage levels are starting to take their toll. The mortgage rate is at 14.75%.
Ask not what the Great Reset can do for you. Ask what you can do for the Great Reset.
Instead of the price of our groceries and our home prices and our insurance, instead of expecting them to drop, they just keep rising. Well, at housing, the answer might be that the only people among us who can still pay the price of the house are really the top 5% who maybe don't need mortgages. But as the data suggests, I'm going to show you today that it seems that even the rich have their breaking point. I point to the latest Case-Shiller index numbers that show the first decline since early 2023 in their latest data. And the newest data out of Redfin shows an even starker picture, as while, yes, we've set a new median price high, the number of transactions themselves has plummeted to the floor, and all the while, new listings are surging through the roof without buyers to take them on. The median sale price, as I mentioned, is a record $394,900. That's up 4.9% over last year. But here's the twist, and this is something you have to pay attention to because this is going to show you what's about to come to us in the fall in the housing market. The asking prices have plateaued. Across Florida, you are seeing sellers set new median list prices at record lows. I mean, they are falling, folks, because there aren't enough buyers. There is not enough interest or ability to pay the prices of homes so inflated as they are right now. And yes, I revel in all of us paper millionaires that own real estate and are making great money at sale, but you have to have a buyer. Sale is met when a buyer meets your price, and if they don't, you will not sell your house. I say that with a smile. I love you all. But all the sellers, lots and lots of you sellers, you've left prices at record highs, hoping for that desperate buyer to come by, but they aren't. And so here we have across the entire marketplace, I'm not talking to you, Orlando, I'm talking to everybody. There is a market standstill because there are not transactions taking place. It's at a record low. So great, you got a house, you got this number you want, but buyers aren't biting. And it's now showing up in the data month after month. Now here in 2024, we face a similar dilemma to last year. That is simply, we're going to have a record low number of transactions, but we're seeing a lot more homes on the market for sale than we've seen in about 5 years' time. Take, for instance, Redfin's latest data. And again, Redfin focuses on a set of metros, almost like Case-Shiller. And they're showing nearly 20% increase in available inventory year over year. I believe Realtor.com's latest numbers are closer to 30% if you take the aggregate of the entire US. And my friends, if you're in Florida, you are much higher than that. In Florida, most of the markets, even the hottest markets like Miami, are suffering these changes in real time, seeing 60 to 80% year over year inventory. And at the same time, you are seeing across the market new median asking prices. That means sellers are bringing their homes into the market at low year over year numbers. It means they're not trying to reach a number that they could have gotten last May. They're adjusting beneath it. And again, my friends, don't get yourself caught with bad data. You have to look at your marketplace. You have to see this dynamic as it unfolds where you live, because if you are looking to sell a home, you may have more steep odds, or hey, you know what? You might be in like Plano, Texas. I was looking for one of my viewers, and it seems that it's very hot in the marketplace where they're at, versus if you're in Austin, it's a completely different story. And again, this means it's taking longer to sell homes. Last year, approximately 55% of people could actually sell their home above the list price. That number has dropped to 32%. Here's the kicker as well. You're starting to see more price reductions. Redfin just reported the highest amount of price reductions they've ever recorded last week. This was nearly 7%. Now, this is not of all homes. You understand most marketplaces, 1 in 5, 1 in 4, 1 in 3, a larger slice of all home sellers are now price reducing in order to sell their home. This is Redfin's early price drop data where they actually are checking people who are bringing their home to the market and then subsequently reducing it in a very short time. I think it's like in the first 30 days or so. And this leads a lot of people to be thinking to themselves, the market's changing really rapidly. And maybe the Fed hasn't cut rates fast enough, because there's a lot of interesting data about the fact that, you know what, unemployment has climbed almost 1%. I think we're at 0.7 of 1%. It's gone in a straight line over the past year. At the same time, if you look at history, the Fed has usually acted faster than they have this cycle. The Fed chairman was in front of Congress just a day or two ago, and you could tell that he's torn between the idea of, hey, you know what? If I leave rates where they are, we are seriously in danger of sinking unemployment. And on the other hand, he's still very afraid that if he changes rates too soon, that things are going to be much more crushing from a cost standpoint. And the middle class is already seeing serious signs of fatigue. All of this is leading a lot of folks to be very concerned of a market crash because we really do not have any good options on the table. And ultimately, my friends, if unemployment still continues to climb, you have to understand that Florida's already 70, 80% higher in inventory. What we're seeing now, when you're having unemployment rate now hitting 4.1% and being that it's almost 1% increase over the past year, we're going to see a lot more houses in the future. A lot of the houses of unemployed people get laid off. They don't sell their house in the first month. They might have some sort of unemployment package. They might be able to kick the can for a few months. A lot of the inventory. And again, when unemployment rises, you can count on a corresponding bigger increase in the amount of inventory out for sale. You also have a double challenge because while you have inventory rising, you also have a dynamic that you're seeing in the market unfolding now where buyers can't buy either. Okay. So if unemployment is increasing, the people that don't own a home are at risk or nervous about their future and they're not buying. And the people that actually own a home, you're going to see that precipitate into more listings. What you're seeing unfold now likely means that even though we had a very big leap in inventory throughout the marketplace, there's probably going to be even more in 2025. I hear more and more how everybody feels more cash strapped than ever. This has obviously obligated most people's income, paying the normal things in life ahead of their housing expense. Now you have to take into consideration that in 2024, the most recent average Redfin payment for a person to afford a home is nearly doubled since guess when? In 24, it's doubled since 2021. So now you have all the other things in life. And some of the most recent data that I saw on the fact that nearly 3 in 4 Americans are literally paycheck to paycheck. They're one speed bump in life away from completely having their apple cart tip over. A Bankrate survey that I just read today said that Americans feel in today's numbers, if they sit down and put it all on paper, they need $186,000 a year in household income in order to make ends meet. That's unfortunate because the average American worker actually makes closer to $79,000 a year. And honestly, the more people I talk to, it's not about lavishly living. It's not like having the extras. It's just about having a sense of comfort, about feeling like I'm not going to go broke if something goes bad on my car next month. But what we're told is prices are only up 21% since the pandemic. It's become a situation where just making ends meet is in itself seemingly a luxury. According to the same survey, only 25% of Americans feel financially secure. And on the other hand, 30% of Americans reported they feel like they have no chance of ever getting ahead. And that's up from 26% last year. And for those making less than $50,000 a year in America, that number is closer to 43% of those feeling like the mountain is insurmountable and they're never going to climb it. And I know this is exciting stuff. Everybody likes to hear how great everything is doing, but it's good that we're facing it head on. I mean, I'm tired of all the Paul Krugman New York Times articles about how they're trying to convince us that we just feel broke. It's not a real brokenness. But look at this. This leads me to believe that we don't have to be sad because the solution is around the corner. Look at this. Lennar Homes hears you and they have a home for the future American. Your future children will not be without a home. So home affordability will not be a problem forever. The article here on Zero Hedge says, kind of like communist housing meets corporate housing, Lennar showcases new Texas home builds. Now, the home you see in this picture is around 750 square feet. It is 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Now, let me show you the actual community right here, okay? So this, my friends, I don't know if this is a testament to how sad the standard of living in America is getting, or that we should be excited about affordable housing. I'm truly mixed. Tell me in the comments, is this America? Is this the excitement that we have for the future? Honestly, folks, you're going to have a 700 square foot house. Most people I know would have to have a 300 square foot storage unit down the street if they lived in one of these properties. Now, you can see here, this is the row of houses. And again, these are selling just right at $197. I don't know, that could be a base price. Then what? You've got granted a lot premium of $30,000 because, you know, some of these lots, man, you've got at least 4 feet between you and the neighbor's house. And I can tell by the shimmer of those windows that those are dual pane. I mean, so your electric bill should at least be $30 a month. You know, I mean, this is basically, and honestly, look at the yard space. There's at least 2 feet between the fence and the edge of the house. I mean, that is amazing. And I mean, who cares about yard space like that? Because you got this common area and everybody parks. And I guess you walk your groceries like all the way down there. I'm like this person right here maybe has a higher lot premium because they don't have to walk all the way to the end. I don't know, people. I truly don't know, folks. I don't think this is the play. They may sell these for like a year, but if we actually see recession, these novelty build-outs, they usually come to an end. Like we had this happen in the last market cycle. In 2008, we had 0 lot line properties. Many of you saw them in major cities where they would build a property right up against another one. And then as soon as, you know, the recession was over, they started building normal houses again, and those went away. And that's now happening again. We have what's called bungalow builds, which is, they're still extraordinarily expensive in my marketplace, like $500,000 for literally a house with very tight lot lines. And I'm going to tell you, I bet you money within 1 year, the builders in my market phase this kind of stuff out. If we hit recession, if there's new price discovery, if you start seeing the marketplace adjust, buyers won't buy this. You're going to see the house down the street that maybe is 1,300 square feet or 1,200 square feet, really small with a 2-car garage. You know, it's better than that. I mean, the lot's not that small, but they're going to get that for $230 or something like that in the same area. And this thing is going to sit. And ultimately what's going to happen, this kind of stuff is always designed whenever there's the hottest need, right? I can imagine some Lennar board members sitting together in like 2021 or 2022, and the marketplace still looked great. And they're like, hey, we got this one piece out here in Texas. Let's throw these tiny little houses on them, because tiny houses are a thing now. Like, we could put these up. We could build these for like $70,000. And I bet you that's what they're building these for. $70,000, $75,000, maybe less. And then they're trying to sell them for $200K and get a bunch of people into financing. It looks like a townhouse, to be honest. It's just tight lot lines, kind of the same similar marketplace, only it's 700 square feet. And I don't know about you folks. I remember my grandparents living in 700 square foot properties in the 1950s and 1960s. And I get you. That is part of the time. They bought a 700 square foot property because that's what they could afford to pay cash for out of their pocket. People are buying this crap, these tiny homes at 700 square feet, and most likely they're making $40,000 a year, paying for a $200,000 property mortgage, which is 5x their earnings. Okay, that is affordable housing. That is our current American standard of living. I don't know, folks. It's not that exciting. But tell me in the comments, am I wrong? I'll see you on the next one.